quite so well. So let's look at this first post from D'Adrea, and if we go down here a little bit towards the bottom of the post, you'll notice she has some stuff in here, and it's kind of this flyer-looking thing that is very much a piece of content that she's pulled in from somewhere else. So this might be out of her MLS, or it might be from some kind of a third-party service. I think this is RealBird. Yeah, so this is powered by RealBird, and she's brought this, her listing, which is a HUD home for sale in Riverbank, into her blog post. Now, the first thing I always look at when I'm kind of reviewing a blog post is, what are they trying to rank for, or what is the title of the blog post? And in this case, she has HUD home for sale in Riverbank. So now you'll notice she's got some other stuff in the post, which is the address of the post. It's okay if you have some of that other stuff in the title line. Here's what I would say is that the main phrase that you're attempting to rank for. Now in this case, HUD homes for sale in Riverbank is better than trying to rank for the address. And in fact, the address is probably one of the worst things that you could leave in the title of your blog post as it relates to your listings. And the reason I say that is because if somebody knows the address of your listing and they go online to search for that address, they're going to find your listing, okay? And the stark reality is they're probably not going to find it on your site. I mean, maybe they'll, your blog post could make it to the first page, but you're going to see the Trulias and the Zillows and, the homes.com and those big box sites that rank way better than us because they've got millions of pages and, thousands and thousands of backlinks, and the search engines look at them as an authoritative site, for homes for sale. So now what D'Adrea has done is she's realized, look, if somebody is going to search for the type of property that I'm listing. Now, they may do it based on the address, but again, if they do it that way, they're going to find me, okay? But what are some other ways that somebody might identify this type of a home or be looking for something that fits what this home is? And in this case, that's a HUD home for sale in Riverbank, and so she's chosen this kind of keyword phrase, HUD homes for sale or HUD home for sale in Riverbank, to really kind of build her blog post around. And so as we come down in here and we look, and we just kind of, that SEO checklist that we gave you guys from the homework in the class 2 weeks ago, she's repeated her keyword phrase, right, in the first kind of paragraph or at least the first 160 characters of her blog post. So that's good. Then she's come down in here and we see there's a second usage of it. So we've got 1, 2. Here's a third usage of it. Okay. So she's already within the kind of 3 to 5 usages. Is that a word? My goodness. Uses of her keyword phrase. Okay, she's used it 3 to 5 times. And then as we come down in here, do we see it anywhere else down in here? No, we don't necessarily see it anywhere else. I might encourage her at the very end here to have added a little piece that just says, hey, thanks for taking a look at this HUD home for sale in Riverbank. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Now, I use this one, and I want to kind of contrast it with, with this one over here, because this particular post, and I see a lot of people do this, RealBird is a pretty good solution to be able to utilize to get something that looks clean in here. It's got the nice kind of moving images in there, and it's a nice way to present a property. But doing this stuff at the top here, where she's gone in and talked a little bit about HUD homes and this home in particular, and she's got some links off, to the advantages of purchasing a HUD home, and talks about the bid submission deadline for this particular home. Adding this additional content up here around the top of the post so that when a search engine gets in here, they're not just seeing this content that has no structure to it, right? I mean, this is like single lines. The search engines they're looking for good written content, and so what D'Adrea does is she adds this kind of written content up here on top of kind of the form stuff that she gets out of RealBird, and way too many people will just say, oh, I'm gonna mark this listing, I'm gonna grab the thing from RealBird, I'm gonna paste it in there, it's super simple, boom, I'm on to my next blog post. But you're missing your ability to really get this thing to kind of stick out there in the search engines. Now, one of the things that I see kind of missing from this piece of content is a link that utilizes her keyword phrase. And in our SEO class and in our SEO checklist, one of the items on our checklist is, do we have a link out of our blog post that uses the anchor text that matches our keyword phrase? And in this case, let's say her keyword phrase was HUD Home for sale in Riverbank. So she would want to have a link in here somewhere that utilized that phrase, and she would want it to be the highest and the first link on the page. So if we think in terms of getting that link above the fold, right, because if somebody landed here and they said, oh, you know what, they look at this and they go, well, this isn't the property for me, you know, I need something that's got 4 bedrooms, right, or I'm looking for a 1-story home, right away they've disqualified this post. We want to give them a chance to be able to find other HUD homes that are for sale in Riverbank, and by having that link up here somewhere above the fold and having it be the first link. Now, we have it be the first link because from a search engine perspective, that's going to reinforce to the search engine that not only does this post have good content about HUD homes for sale in Riverbank, but the author is willing to send you to another place that has good information about HUD homes for sale in Riverbank, right? Our keyword phrase. So from the search engine perspective, that's why we get it up there high and we get it to be the first link in the body of our content. From a consumer perspective, then we're looking at, okay, when they land in here, if this home is not what they want and they've disqualified it right away because, you know, it's out of their price range, or it's a 2-story, they wanted a 1-story, it's a 3-bedroom, they wanted a 4-bedroom, we want to give them that real clear path to be able to find the other HUD homes. Now, she does it down here, right? Search here for available HUD homes in Stanislaus County. Stanislaus? Ooh, that's a tongue twister for me, I'm sorry. I should have ate my Wheaties this morning. But she gives you the chance to find that, but she should have done it kind of based on that main keyword phrase, and it should have been the first link up there near the top of the site. Now, one of the other things that I'm always kind of looking for is a link to some other site on the internet that the search engines identify as being an authoritative site on the subject matter. And so in this case, with HUD homes, you know, she probably would have, like, if I went over here and just typed in HUD homes, right? What's the first? Well, HUD home store, foreclosures, bank foreclosures. Maybe this HUD.gov website. Maybe I would have wanted to have linked somehow out to this HUD.gov website so that the search engines, again, realize that I'm not just passing links around to myself and to maybe other sites that she owns. I'm also willing to show the consumer a link to a site that the search engines find authoritative on that subject matter. Now, this is not like an absolute, but again, it's just another signal that she could have sent to the search engines to say, hey, this is a good piece of content about HUD homes for sale in Riverbank, because I'm willing to give the consumer or pass the consumer to another place on the internet that the search engines find you know, powerful around a portion of my search query, in this case HUD homes. Okay, so she does a pretty darn good job in here with most of this stuff. The one thing she's kind of missing out on is the placement of that link and the usage of the keyword phrase in her link. But I love how she's kind of combined this real easy RealBird application that you know, it does a good job kind of presenting the property, and she's combined that with some written content where she's actually taken the time to understand that if I add this additional content into the post, it's going to help me in the search engines.